Hey everyone, my name is Patrick Cunetta, and welcome back to the Rideshare Hub. If you're new here, the Rideshare Hub is a channel all about becoming a better rideshare driver and making more money. Before we begin the video, if you're interested in becoming an Uber or Lyft driver and you want to get a sign-on bonus, then use the links in the description to sign up. Also, be sure to like and subscribe to see more videos like this one. All right, so in this video, we're talking about 5 tips for new Uber Eats drivers. I'd like to begin by saying that I've been driving Uber Eats for over a year at this point. I've done over 1,000 trips and I've made quite a few $1,000s driving Uber Eats. So I'm just going to share with you guys some tips that have really helped me in my journey, helped me with my driving process, and hopefully, these will help you guys out as well. So tip number 1, if you are brand new to driving, or if you maybe signed up but you haven't driven yet, it's just to get out there and drive. It's going to take some time to develop the best schedule, develop the best routine and strategy, and just get used to it in general. So it might seem a little intimidating at first, just getting out there and delivering food to strangers, putting their food in your car and showing up at the house and finding apartments and things like that. But it's really not that intimidating. Once you get into the flow of things, it's going to be super easy and it's going to feel just so natural, just, driving and just dropping things off. It's like a little game. You go online on your phone and a little order pops up and you accept it, and then it just navigates you on the little mini map, have a little dash mount for your phone, and you just drive over to the restaurant, pick it up, show them the phone, and then you just navigate to the house and drop it off. It's like a little video game, you just literally follow the little map and, drive where you need to go. And it's really easy. It's really, like I said, it's not that scary, not that intimidating once you get into the flow of things. So, just be persistent and, just get out there and take that first action and, develop that process. That's going to be my number 1 tip of advice to you guys. Just don't be afraid to get out there and drive. Tip number 2 is going to be part of the driving strategy, and that is to figure out the best times and the best places to drive and go online. This is going to take some time to develop, like I said in the first tip. It's going to take time for you to develop and figure out the best spots, just kind of getting a feel for it. And a lot of it's common sense. Think about the busiest areas of your city, of your town that you live in. Think about other, maybe even neighboring cities that are super busy. I live just north of Portland, Oregon. If I wanted to, I could go down and drive in Portland. I do pretty well in here in Vancouver, Washington, so I don't really need to do that. But think about the best places and the best times to drive. Obviously it's going to be busiest around lunchtime, which, if you start around 10 a.m. to like 1 or 2 p.m., you'll get plenty of orders around there, especially think about businesses. I get a lot of business office buildings around that time. People just at work, at different little shops and things like that. So a lot of those places will order, people are just out ordering lunch, just from their regular, day-to-day job. So that's definitely a, one thing to think about. Of course, if you think about in the evening time dinner as well, you're going to have people ordering family dinners. Those are going to be usually bigger orders, things like that. You might get more tips around that time as well too. So put these, just put these things into consideration if you, are trying to develop that schedule for yourself to drive, which is definitely another thing to do as well, because having that consistency and that routine is going to keep you going and keep you motivated. It's very easy to get lazy and be like, nah, I don't want to drive today, especially, without somebody holding you accountable. So you got to hold yourself accountable in that sense. But I won't stray off topic too far here. Like I said, it's just figuring out the best times and the best places to drive. If you live in a pretty busy area, or if you can get a decent amount of orders from your house, then go online from your house. I do this every day. I don't live in the busiest part of town, but I just, when I want to start the day, obviously I get ready to go and everything. And I just go online from my phone, make sure my sound's turned on, and I just have my phone sitting next to me, with the sound on, and I just do some work on my computer or, whatever else I want to do until I get my first order. And typically I'll get it within a couple minutes. So like I said, if you maybe don't get orders from your house, you might need to drive into town and start, just go online while you're driving. But if you are in a good place and, just test it out, if you are in a good place where you can get, pretty steady amount of orders just from your house, then just start from your house and then go from there. But yeah, like I said, you'll get a feel for it once you've been driving for a while, the best times and places to wait if you are in between orders, which typically it's just one after another steady stream of orders. But if it is slow for any reason and you are in between orders, you'll figure out the best place to go drive and wait, the best parking lot to wait in order to get the best, chances to get orders. Think about where all the restaurants are at, and think about the busy parts of town, and just go hang out there. And that's definitely going to be tip number 2. Tip number 3 is something that is not necessarily required by drivers, but it is to use an insulated bag every single time. Now, Uber Eats does not supply you with these for free, unlike Grubhub and DoorDash, which do give them to you when you sign up. Uber Eats, they say, I remember when I signed up, they're like, oh, we recommend that you use an insulated bag, but you don't have to. So for a long time I didn't, because I thought it was going to be annoying to haul around this bag everywhere, but it's actually very, very convenient. I've been using an insulated bag for quite a while, and it makes things 100 times easier. Because first of all, it's easier to carry the food. If you have like 3 big bags, it's easier to carry, especially if you have drinks to deal with. You just have one little strap for the bag, and then you can carry the drinks with 2 hands. So it's super easy in that sense. And then also it's going to keep the customer's food hot or cold. So it's going to keep it, there's nothing worse than ordering Uber Eats and, it takes forever and it gets there and the food's just cold already. And sometimes that's just going to happen if the driver has double orders and things like that. Or if it's a lot of traffic, or if, any other reasons, it can be cold, and that's just going to suck. So if you have that food in the insulated bag and you get to their doorstep and you open it up and it's just steam pouring out and everything like that, they're going to appreciate that so much more. And your customer is the person who's tipping you. That's going to be like, one of the people that pays you a lot of, like, that's a majority of your earnings, not the majority, but it's a huge chunk of your earnings, is from tips. So if you can make the customer have the best experience possible, then that's going to maximize your tips. So think about that. So using an insulated bag is definitely going to help you out. If you don't have access to one, you could probably pick one up at the store somewhere, order one on Amazon for super cheap, and that's going to make things so much easier for you, and it's going to maximize your tips a lot. So insulated bag, don't forget that. Tip number 4 is also along the lines of maximizing your earnings, and that is just to be polite to everybody and be patient and just be a nice person. There's nothing worse than restaurant having to deal with an Uber Eats driver who's just being rude and impatient, like, oh my gosh, are you guys really taking this long? And they're like just complaining about every little thing, and if one little thing goes wrong, they're going to start yelling at people. Like, that's just a bad experience for, first of all, the restaurant in the first place. They're not going to put a lot of priority in helping you out if you're being rude with them all the time. So, being polite to the restaurant, first of all, just check in, walk in, say, hey, I'm here I have an Uber Eats order for, Janelle or Michael, whoever you have. Or if they ask you for the code, just, show them the code or tell them the code. And that's pretty much it. Just be polite. Just be like, hey, how's it going? And just be patient. Just be patiently wait on your phone if you do need to wait. Obviously, some restaurants are going to be slower than others. Some of them you can go through the drive-thru. Some of them you can't. But in some cases, you are going to have to wait, especially if it's a really big order at a really slow restaurant like Red Robin or something like that. So you are going to have to wait at some point, one or another. So just be patient. Like I said, if you want to hang out and just do some work on your phone, play some games, watch some YouTube, bring some headphones, whatever you want to do, just make the best use of that time where you're just sitting there doing nothing. I think it's, if you can figure out how to be productive while you're just sitting there waiting, then you're going to get a lot more done in your day, and it's also going to feel like less of a wait time because you're actually engaged in doing something. So if you can figure out something good to do while you're waiting for orders, if you want to just read a book or something like that, then go ahead and do that. But just be patient and be kind, be polite to everybody. And then in the last part of that is to be polite to the customer, of course. So, of course, get there as, quick and efficiently as possible to not keep them waiting super long. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about wait times. But yeah, just be efficient, get there, go up to the door, of course. Don't get to the person's house and call me like, hey, can you come get the food? Or text them something like that. Just go to the door. That's what people expect when they order food. Even if it's an apartment complex, even if it's a hotel, park your car in a good spot, find a good spot to park your car, figure out where the apartment's at, figure out where the hotel number's at, or the hotel room's at, and just go inside and deliver it to them. Take it up to them. And a lot of people will appreciate that a lot, especially if it's like a hotel or something. People are like, wow, you even took it up to my room and everything. And it's very easy to find apartments and very easy to find hotel rooms. There's like a map at every single apartment complex if you really need to use that, or you can just follow the alphabet and find it. It's pretty easy once you get used to it, like I said. And hotels are easy too. If it's room 230, it's on the second floor. If it's room 550, it's on the fifth floor. So, it's really easy to find floors too. If you get lost, you can obviously ask the hotel people. It's super easy, and that's another way to maximize your tips. And when you drop it off, just be polite, be like, hey, how's the night going? Or how's your morning going? I got an order for whatever. Use their name as well. People like to hear their names. It's a psychological thing I learned a long time ago in sales. People like to hear their names. They like when you use their name. So be like, hey, Michael, how's it going? Hey, Jeff, how's it going? I got the order from Red Robin for you here. And then as you're just be polite as you're opening your bag and the steam pours out and the smell hits their nose, and just be like, yeah, here's everything for you. And then, just tell them to have a great night and thank them, and just be genuinely polite to them. And I've noticed that even if people don't tip you right away, I get tons and tons of tips later on, like throughout the night. If you get an order and you deliver it and they don't tip you at the door, don't be all pissed off about it, because they can tip you afterwards. You can get a tip, first of all, on the app instantly when they order, or cash when you get there, or afterwards on the app. So there's 3 different times they can tip you. So if they don't do it right away, then don't be all rude with them. Don't be all pissy and don't be all frustrated. Just stay positive and you will get tons and tons of tips. A lot of days I'll get like 10, 20 bucks in tips the next day, just because people are like, oh, I forgot to tip them yesterday, and then go on there and tip you. So just be polite, and that is going to take you a lot further, and you're going to make a lot more money. And the last tip number 5, is just to be persistent and to stay positive. Like I mentioned earlier, if you are trying it out a little bit and you're frustrated and you're not making as much money as you thought, or something didn't go your way, then just keep going and keep being persistent and keep going, because when you develop that routine and the strategy and everything in order to maximize your earnings, then you can have a great experience. And like I said, sometimes you're going to be slow. Sometimes you're going to be extremely busy. Sometimes you're going to make $8 an hour, and sometimes you're going to make $30 an hour. So that's just what it is. That's the platform. It can be volatile. It's not, exactly completely consistent like a regular 9-to-5 job where you're just like, oh, I make exactly $13 an hour. It's going to be, it's going to vary depending on the orders and depending on this and this. There's like a million factors that go into it. And, it might just be bad luck. You might just get a string of like $3 orders or $4 orders. And then on the other hand, you might get a string of $12 orders. So it's just being persistent and staying positive and not getting discouraged and, not holding on to these bad experiences you have. Just keep going and keep building and keep improving, and you can make great money. And that's probably, one of the best things to sum up this video. Just stay positive. Because when you are constantly negative, when you're constantly complaining, and you're constantly, thinking, oh, this is going to take so long, they're not going to tip me, this and this and this, then you're just going to bring about a bad experience into your day, because you're constantly thinking about bad things, and then bad things are going to happen, and then you're just going to view everything with a negative perspective. On the other hand, if you're positive, if you're like, I'm just out here making money, enjoying myself, just appreciate the fact that you have so much freedom to drive around and make money on your own schedule completely. That's just so cool. So don't forget that. Just stay positive. Appreciate the opportunity that you have. When you get to restaurants, like I said, just be polite, be positive, be patient, and you're going to have a good experience. And then at the end of the day, you're going to be like, oh wow, I have $60 just from driving around. I didn't even feel like I was working. I was just hanging out, driving around, just enjoying myself. If you want to drive around, just play music as loud as you can. You can do that, listen to audiobooks, whatever you want to do. You can just do whatever while you're driving around. So it's such a cool opportunity. There's no reason to be angry or negative about everything. And that's just going to bring about a negative experience. So like I said, just stay positive, stay persistent, keep on going, build that routine, to build that schedule, build that strategy, and you can make tons and tons of money on Uber Eats. So those are my 5 tips for new Uber Eats drivers. Hope they helped you out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear about that. Let me know any other questions you guys have. Thank you everyone for watching. Again, if you are interested in signing up for Uber Lyft and you want a sign-on bonus, use the link in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more videos like this one. Also, don't forget to check out my own YouTube channel. I'm currently obviously doing a guest vlog on the Rideshare Hub, which is awesome. But my channel is Patrick Cuneta. It is my name. I create videos every single day I've been doing so for over 5 months at this point. You know, my videos are all about, you know, not only Uber Eats and rideshare apps, but also about personal growth, making money, life advice, happiness, success, and also a little bit of, you know, vlogs and adventures and music and things like that. So I create YouTube videos every single day just for helping people out and for, you know, sharing my passions. So go check that out. All right, guys, this has been another episode of the Rideshare Hub. See you all next time.